The Uninvited Guest. It was a quiet Friday night, the kind that made the air feel still and the world outside seem miles away. Emily sat alone on the couch in her living room, wrapped in her favorite blanket, catching up on her favorite TV show. Her parents had gone out for a quick dinner with friends, and her little brother was staying at a friend's house for the night. It was supposed to be a peaceful evening, one where she could finally have the house to herself. But then the doorbell rang. She hesitated for a moment, glancing at the clock. It was late, almost 10 p.m. Who could be visiting at this hour? Maybe it was just a delivery or a neighbor who needed to borrow something. Still, the uneasy feeling settled in her stomach. Emily peeked through the peephole in the front door. There was no one standing outside. That was strange. She double-checked, thinking perhaps someone had left in a hurry, but still no one was there. Feeling a chill creeping down her spine, she shrugged it off. Maybe it was just the wind, or maybe someone had just been walking by and rang it on accident. But then it happened again. The doorbell rang, this time louder, more urgent. She froze. There was no reason for anyone to be at the door. Her parents had made sure to tell her not to open it for anyone when they weren't home. She tried to ignore the feeling gnawing at her, but it was hard to shake. So she did what any sensible person would do. She picked up her phone to call her parents. But just as she dialed, her phone went dark. "That's odd," she muttered to herself. Her phone was fully charged earlier. She tried to turn it back on, but nothing happened. Her stomach twisted with anxiety. Before she could make sense of it, a soft knock came from the back door, followed by another knock, this time from the kitchen window. Emily's breath hitched. There was no way this was a coincidence. Her mind raced, but she couldn't think of anyone who would be here. She had no friends who lived nearby, and none of the neighbors had called ahead. Then a whisper carried through the air, faint but clear, just on the edge of her hearing. "Let me in." It was soft, almost like it was a voice on the wind, but it sent a shiver down her spine. Emily clutched her blanket tighter, instinctively locking all the windows and doors, though she wasn't sure if it would do any good. Whoever, or whatever, was outside had already gotten past the doorbell and her phone. The whisper came again, louder this time. "Let me in, Emily." Her pulse quickened, and the hairs on the back of her neck stood on end. She felt frozen in place, her mind unable to process what was happening. Then there was a faint scratching sound at the window. She forced herself to move. Running to the kitchen, she grabbed the largest kitchen knife from the drawer, her hand trembling. The house felt suffocating now, as if the walls were closing in on her. The whispers continued, taunting her. "Let me in." A loud bang rang from the back door. Someone was trying to get in. Emily backed away slowly, her heart racing in her chest. She tried to think clearly, but the fear clouded her thoughts. What was going on? Who was out there? And why wouldn't they just leave? In a panic, she dashed to the hallway, wanting to lock herself in the bathroom. But then the lights flickered. The whole house went pitch black. It was so dark. The only sounds were the whispers and the pounding at the door. She fumbled around for a flashlight, her breath shallow, feeling like she was running out of time. Suddenly a crash came from upstairs. Her heart skipped a beat. No, 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 no. With shaking hands, she grabbed the flashlight and dashed up the stairs, her feet stumbling over each step. She reached the top floor and glanced around, but there was no one in sight. The house was eerily quiet now. Another whisper, this time from behind her. "I'm here." She spun around, the beam of the flashlight illuminating the hallway, but there was nothing there. Her hand grasped the railing as she tried to steady herself. "This isn't real. This can't be happening. I'm imagining things. I just need to calm down." The door to the attic creaked open and Emily's blood ran cold. She hadn't opened that door, she was sure of it. She backed away slowly, her breath shallow, trying to make sense of what was happening, and that's when she saw it. Just behind the door, a figure, a pale face with hollow eyes, peered at her through the attic entrance. The figure smiled. Emily's stomach dropped. The whispers started again, this time all around her, louder, clearer. "Let me in." The figure stepped forward, the darkness swallowing them whole as they slowly advanced toward her, the attic door creaking with each step. Her mind raced as she turned and ran down the stairs, her pulse pounding in her ears. She had to get out, but before she could reach the front door, the power went out completely. The house was plunged into darkness. She heard footsteps behind her, slowly, heavy, deliberate, and then a voice. "You shouldn't have tried to hide, Emily." If you guys enjoyed the story, I would appreciate if you could leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated, and thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this night's tale.